Hello and welcome back to Curb Stomp City and another episode of ECW Lives on TEW 2016. And today we're only going to have one show in this episode because it's Friday night and I don't have time to do two. But I'll do you a deal, and if we hit 100 likes, and I will do another episode midweek instead of waiting until Saturday, so next week you'll get two episodes as well as one episode of The Journey. But yeah, we start the show with the camera zoomed in on Joey Styles at the commentary table, and he says, "Ladies and gentlemen, today we start the show a little differently, as tonight I am without my broadcast partner and friend, Paul Heyman. This past Sunday, Paul shocked the world when he got involved in the ECW World Heavyweight Championship match between Rhino and Minoru Tanaka. Not only did he get involved, but he helped Minoru Tanaka defeat Rhino. So tonight, I am joined by a last-minute replacement, Joel Gertner." And then Joel says, "Thanks, Joey. What we saw at ECW Uncensored changed the course of ECW forever. Heyman must have a death wish. I am told that we can expect to hear from Paul and Tanaka tonight during the show." And this got a 48D+, and just a little introduction, basically writing Paul Heyman off commentary. And for now we're trying out Joel Gertner. He's on a one-night deal, so let's see how he does. But I'm also looking at maybe Jerry Lawler, as he's a free agent at the minute. I'm not sure because he hates ECW in real life, so I don't know about the realism for that one. But I'll see how it goes. And then we start backstage and we join AJ Styles and Fergal Devitt, and they are mid-conversation. And AJ says, "Come on, man, you have to take this opportunity. It's a main event against Sting. He's an icon. Imagine if you beat him." And then Fergal says, "I know, but Heyman said we'd lose our championship rematch if I take it." And then AJ says, "Look, we can earn that shot back at any point. We are the Phenomenals. Fergal, you have to do this." And then Fergal says, "Okay, but will you join me at ringside?" And AJ says, you have to do this one alone. I'm 100% supporting you, but this is your time." And AJ and Devitt hug it out as we go to our next segment. Basically, I want to see how Devitt does against Sting, a main eventer. And Heyman's offered him the opportunity to main event tonight against Sting, but he has to give up his tag team title shot, and AJ is okay with it. So yeah, we're writing Fergal into some singles competition for now, and both of them are still friends. And 60C, which is decent for the two. And then we go to CM Punk entering the arena wearing a hoodie, dragging his ECW television championship alongside him. And he says, "Last night, I put the hardcore legend Terry Funk to sleep once and for all. Every dog has its day, and that old dog took a bullet to the head last night in the form of my knee, and now he's gone for good. Call it an assassination, if you will. You all know by now, but in case you are too stupid to remember, my name is CM Punk, and I am your ECW television champion. I am the straight edge assassin, and I am better than every single fucking one of you." And then he says, "This belt is a symbol of my greatness, and is a symbol of my untainted lifestyle." And then Punk pulls out a black spray can and lays it on the ground in front of him. He kneels down and sprays a huge X across the front of the belt. And he stands up and puts the belt in his shoulder with a smirk on his face. And he says, "Now then, let's move on to my match tonight. I hear somebody wants to accept my open challenge, so let's see who we have this time." And it's got a 68C+. It's a good promo from Punk. And we're developing his straight edge assassin character. And yeah, he's done a big X on his belt to represent his straight edge lifestyle. And yeah, decent little promo, I think, 68C+. And then in a bout that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, CM Punk defeats a returning Sabu in 9 minutes 52 by pinfall, and CM Punk makes defense number 3 of his ECW World Television title. So in the space of 2 shows, Punk has defeated 2 Hall of Famers, Terry Funk and Sabu. So yeah, good momentum for Punk. And CM Punk had an in-ring performance of 73, Sabu got a 64, and 77B overall. So that's a really solid match, that. Punk is improving quite a bit. And yeah, 77B, so that's absolutely solid. And then we go to John Cena shown rapping in a recording studio with Jay Briscoe sat in the background. And Cena then turns to the camera after he is done and he says, John Cena is about to take over the hip hop game. With the help of J-Dog, I'm recording my first studio album, Chain Gang for Life. And yeah, so Cena and Briscoe are not in the show tonight. Cena's recording an album. And yeah, Chain Gang for Life with J-Dog. And it's got a 58 C-. And then in an extremely short match, Samoa Joe defeats Tommy Dreamer in 4 minutes 43 by submission with a Dragon Sleeper. And this was for the ECW Osaka heavyweight title. And this got a 71 C+, 77 from them both. And Samoa Joe is the new champion out of nowhere. He pinned Tommy Dreamer at Uncensored in the multi-man match. And he got his title shot and he's won it in convincing fashion. It's a bit out of nowhere. But yeah, Joe's got the belt and he's going to face... I will announce now that he's going to face Minoru Tanaka in a unification title match on the next show, ECW Revolt. And this will take place in Osaka, Japan. So we're going to hold Revolt next week in Japan. And yeah, that's basically just to sort that main event out. And 71 C+, so decent match again. And then in the main event, in a bout that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, Sting defeats Fergal Devitt in 9 minutes 41 by pinfall with a Stinger splash. And apparently they have great chemistry. Even though Fergal was off his game, he got a 55, which is good. And 81 for Sting and 77B. So this is basically just to boost Fergal Devitt's profile. He's now been in a main event with Sting. Despite the loss, he has got that rub. And hopefully that should help his reputation. I want to check it after this. And then Minoru Tanaka walks to the ring wearing his golden robe, flanked by a delighted Paul Heyman. Then Heyman says, this past Sunday, the future of ECW was cemented. I hired Minoru Tanaka last year for the first ever Global Glory, and this year he will be main eventing it. And then Tanaka climbs up on the middle rope, and he says, now everybody bow down to your new hero, Minoru Tanaka. And then Tanaka opens his robe to reveal his ECW World Championship belt. He closes his eyes and raises his hands into the air. And then suddenly Rhino can be seen approaching the ring through the crowd behind him. And then Heyman notices and he says, Minoru, he's there, quick. And Heyman runs away up the ramp whilst Tanaka stays in the ring and waits. As Rhino slides into the ring, Tanaka escapes with a smile on his face. And Joel Gertner was weak. I've noticed that a few times tonight, so we're not going to bring him back. We're going to have a look at the options. But yeah, 85B+. It's a solid segment. And then Rhino gets the microphone that Heyman dropped and he says, Heyman, Tanaka, there is no point in running when you're already dead. And this got a 77B, so decent line from Rhino. He didn't say much, but it's very effective what he did say. Basically a warning for Tanaka, you're already dead. And yeah, 77B, decent from Rhino. And this show increased our popularity in 20 regions with a 79B. And Revolt got a 3.37, which is, I think, the best yet, at least in the last 10 ratings. And the ratings of the show have absolutely been smashing it, so we're getting like B's this year, since like January, and we got some good ones in December as well, but we're breaking the B's now this year. Maybe we can get to the A's soon, we'll have to see. So yeah, as you can see, Fergal Devitt is currently a lower mid-carder, so if I auto-push, hopefully that changes. And yeah, he's up to a mid-carder after that main event with Sting, so success there. So yeah, here's the options for Heyman's replacement on the commentary table. We've got Larry Zbyszko, Jerry Lawler, Hugo Savinovich, Dusty Rhodes and Don West. So yeah, let me know in the comments who you think we should go for out of them 5. And before we go, we have the reveal of the ECW Academy. And basically we've opened a development territory and we've sent some people down to there and we've hired some women to develop as well. So we've got Austin Aries, who has been sent down, who used to be on the main roster. And we've got Beth Phoenix, Bobby Roode, Brian Kendrick, Cheerleader Melissa, Danny Havoc, Delirious, Gail Kim, Garuda, Hiroshi Tanahashi, Lisa Marie Veron, and Mickey James. And yeah, it's just a local company for now called the ECW Academy. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if we can develop some people from there. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. If we get 100 likes, we'll bring out another one midweek. Make sure you subscribe for more TEW 2016 and general wrestling content. Until next time, peace.